This is odd. I must have already put my placeables in there too. This has got to be the new map because obviously the level of the grounds is all... So I bought my vehicles in. And this is the replacement map that I had already set up. So in a way, I've not done myself any favours because I've got the vehicles in exactly the same place on the field. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to literally destroy this, and we're going to do it again without any of these vehicles in at all. We might lease a few and all that type of stuff. But I always think this type of thing, really, it's one of those things. It's always painful when this type of thing happens and it's out of your hands. It happens a way too, unfortunately, on FS22 and FS25, happens a little bit too frequently for my liking. But it is what it is. It's what you get when you get mods that like work against each other and all the rest of it. So I'm going to see you shortly on a brand new map. See you shortly. Right, one thing before we start I am going to sort of say is, so is this the starting farm? It was where I said, yeah, no, but it does sort of exist, the farm. So the house was still alright. Right, okay, so when these things happen, I think you've got to gain a little bit. There's got to be some sort of advantage for your efforts to do what you've actually done. So we're going to buy that. Now, we also bought field 10, which has now got carrots, and we can change this. So we need to give ourselves more cash. Okay, well, we know we did all this, so this is not like me cheating. But yeah, there has got to be some, I think, advantage. Oh. For you doing all this, because we're doing efforts here, just like we would be if we were on the Let's Play playing the Let's Play going on in time. There's got to be some sort of financial gain or some kind of incentive for you doing this. So I am going to like literally, I'm going to sort of, what I'm going to do is we're going to level from this point, this whole bit of land, and this is my bonus, if you like, you know, this is what we're going to do. Before we buy any vehicles or put the placeables in, we're going to level. Now, this seems to be, to me, the level. This seems to like go up from this bit. So this also would be the level bit where you would want to come onto your land and it'd be level. So we're going to go from this corner. We're going to go big, and we don't care about how much cash this is going to actually cost us. So from this corner, let's go really big. Let's just level the entire area so that it's just one massive. We'll colour it, we'll do whatever we like just to make this all one level. This is the farmyard. So I would just, this is the only liberty I'm going to take, which it is a liberty, I realise, but it just saves faffing around doing this in chunks. And we did always want this to be the farmyard. It never was supposed to be a field, so let's just like get it done at the very beginning and save any faffing around and just sort it. Wow, it really is. I ought to turn the strength up. I should know better really, because this is a lot, and it doesn't half cost a lot as well. I've literally just done this on Oberschwagen, like a little bit of leveling. Boy, oh boy, is it expensive. The only bad thing is obviously it totally ruins the. I think it's just this corner. I think then that is it. We're all at a level at that point. That is all our land as well. I don't think we took any liberties where we went into the drink or anything like that, or if we did, not by lot. Right, so then, I'm not a massive fan of concrete everywhere, so let's like not do it concrete all over. Let's do it grass as the base. And again, let's go big, really big. That's as big as you can go. Right, so let's just do that, and then this is the base, and then we can do like concrete on it and all the rest of it, but we're just going to make this into the farmyard. That is like, yeah, the payment for us for the mucking us around with like things going wrong and all the rest of it. And really you could say done at the expense of Giant Software, being as we're using the game engine to sort of like give us extra cash and that type of stuff. So right, fantastic. Now then, do we go, I think what we'll do is we should do a bit of grass around the edge, and we'll go big. It's going to cost us, but it's not really costing us. So yeah, we'll do, gotta be careful because this really does go into a lot of things. We'll do it right around the edge. and then we will yeah, literally sort of do some farmyard, a bit of like proper farmyard sort of type texture and that type of thing. But yeah, I wanted to fix Louisiana. I thought I'm not willing to give in just yet. It really was becoming a cracking sort of let's play, and it's got to be something, some elements gone wrong, and you can't always tell what it is. You can't always like think, yeah, it was that, it was that. Everything was okay, nothing went wrong, and then all of a sudden we had loads of updates, and as they do, things broke. There was no error messages that we saw that said, oh yeah, your placeable's like going wrong or anything like that. So it really, it didn't cost us too much to do all that grass in that area. I'm well impressed. That's one thing that I really do appreciate the Giants did do, because it was so expensive in FS22, and they obviously did for once listen, which is nice. Right, so then, well, we're going to do a bit of like small sculpting, and I'm going to go. Trouble is, the asphalt remains to this day the very best thing for doing ways in to your farmyard. So we're going to go, I think it was about here. Let's go down, let's do a couple of runs in. It still does remain the best wherever you leave us a bits of grass in the middle. It was still this horrible, yeah. This is still not right though, because you can see it's not like doing the, but you can actually stick a bit of grass back in as well. For like, yeah, although it does bleed a bit. Let's just try and fix that again. There, that's not too terrible. Right, so that leads to there. We've got a perfectly flat thing. Now we know we had the beautiful red barn. I'm going to try to keep things sort of as they were, literally. Are we going to bring our placeables? Now this is the thing. Although I am bringing my placeables in, there are certain things I think I'm going to bring them in bit by bit, or maybe we stick them down again. I think we've got to. The positioning and the height of the terrain is now completely different, which is going to totally stuff this up if we do this like as we were before. So we really want, and it is a production, and it is, no, it's not that one. It does look that I have done this really quite bad though, as in like I've not done the picture of it right. No, it's about 60 odd, or have I? I think I have. I think I've done the barn type ones. I think, but last time I looked, I'm sure they were just a production silo. No, that is just a production silo. It's about now. Yes, I think it is. Yeah, I've called it. I'm left it because it is a production silo. Oh, now that model's broken. That is the English brick one, and that is the American one. Fantastic. Okay, so brilliant. We don't B mode if possible, because now we're as flat as a pancake. We'll stick this again. We're not trying to fix anything or anything. We do want to go down the side a little bit, so we don't want to be too far in the land. I would say that is about. We haven't got toggle free mode off. Have we got? It's perfectly flat. Yeah, you can only tell if it's like not perfectly flat. So I can't. So toggle free mode on, which means it's got to be off, surely, by any kind of logic, I would say. Right. So then we want a little bit of a run down the side. I would say we need also to see where the production silo is really, as to not be too. So it's fairly accessible. We can always delete it if it's not quite right anyway. Nope. Is that okay? I think so. Now we also put down our sell point. So let's put our self-marketing, which is the first one, and we were roughly about there. Ish. It's not too terrible. Let's do a little bit of. Let's put all the placeables down first. The chickens were about where that tree is, just about there. Obviously, am I worried about the contents of the? I've got to put the chickens back in. I really have. I'm hoping this doesn't like you doing this type of thing. It doesn't always work. So bees, we do want out bees, don't we, really? We did do bees. And we did the really, really monstrous bees. My beautiful quadruple bees. Now, I think we'll stick those actually underneath the trees, closer to the... I don't know that they were here before, but that doesn't really matter. Yeah, right, fantastic. Chickens. My biggie. And, yeah, now they've got to try and get this right this time. So that's where the eggs spawn, which means... Yeah, no, I said last time, well, at least you can see all of the... Yeah, so the important things are where the eggs spawn at the back. We feed them at the side, which you can see. So really, that is not too terrible right there. Fantastic. Should be flat as a pancake. And then we come to our productions. So then we had... So why is the Logi transfer appearing in this when we never placed it? That's the one thing that is a bit confusing to me. Yeah, I've also got the compost packing thing in this. I'm going to try to stick those as close to what we had already as possible. So we did have... No, we didn't have the cement factory. Is that actually... Yeah, I think one of them's broken still. I think the bionic doesn't work properly. Right, so we did have... It does look like the soy factory, but it isn't the soy factory. Apologies for this. Yeah, it's... got to get it right, though, haven't we, really? Bionic oil mill... Huge production, super dairy, bionic spinny Taylor. Is this the one that's broken? Yeah, it is. That model's still broken. I need to have a look at why that's busted. Super Taylor, super spinnery, bionic soy, bionic rope, bionic luxury desserts. Now, didn't we have the standard luxury desserts, which should be 27,000? Yeah, I think we did have the standard. I'm sure we never bought bionic, so we should have. It does look like that. Luxury desserts Mark 1. That is what we had. So then, that we also had the greenhouses. I think we should put the greenhouses down first. We were about to put one of my greenhouses down, weren't we? Or did we put that down last? I don't think we did, but we were going to. Let's start with the greenhouses, because they really do take up the most amount of thing. Now, this should this time actually go a little bit better than they did last time. So we did have... Yeah, we did have this indeed. Did we only have... the one? I just need to look at where these spawn down there. Having had these quite a bit, I think I actually put the chickens in the wrong place. I think the chickens needed to be up there, but it doesn't really matter. Let's start. Is that 2 o'clock? What are you overlapping with that far off? That's ridiculous. And yet we can be close to a tree. Right, that will do, I think. Do we stick them like... We've got to get down the sides of each one, if anything. Not sure that that's a good idea, really, to do that like that. It's sort of, yeah, I need to flip these around like G866 Mods did with his, where you can like do left or right, because then you can actually put these the opposite way, and then they work quite well together. So we need to get down that side, so there needs to be quite a bit of space in between them. I'm going to do this in a slightly different way. I think that's probably... We had 2 of those, I think. Now, we were going to do this anyway, so we're going to stick the guar one down right now also. But this is out of our money. That is a good point. It is actually, yeah. We're not going to stick down anything that we didn't have or we were thinking about having. We're just only going to do the things that we actually... Did we do the olives and that on this one? I can only really remember doing the... We did do a rice one though, didn't we? That one I do remember. I remember us having the rice. Ah, no, the rice comes with it. That's right. Okay, fantastic. So, I'm trying not to overstep. We also did put the sign down, or if we didn't, we ought to have done so. We will stick that down, even if I didn't before, because like it really is, you know, like one of the first things I usually do on a Let's Play to like, this is our farm. I think with being like start from scratch, more than anything, I think you need that sense of ownership, and so we've done it, right? So, and it's not like we're taking great liberties, right? So then we want, we did have our container, which we had somewhere over here. We also had 82 Studios right in the middle. Oh, that's birds. That's all right. Nothing wrong with that. Right, so let's put 82 Studios down first. Because we did obviously have this. We're not like taking any liberties or anything like that. I think it is actually classed as a... It's a selling point, isn't it? And it was about 36,000 or something like that. Well, if it was, it's not there now. Is it a factory? That would make sense to me, but it's not technically a factory, so I'm not sure that this is right. I do hate this when you like go in and like you can't find something that you want. No, it wasn't that expensive. Silos, perhaps, maybe. It's sort of a bit of an in-betweener, isn't it, really? Silo extensions? Constructables, it should be in containers. I haven't removed it either. Please don't tell me this is what's broken. We did have one of ours as well. Now we'll go with the new model. No, old model, really, not my new one. And we'll stick that, I think, just out of the way a little bit, but like sort of fairly here we are. I think we'll stick it right next to 82 Studios one, and it was the dearer one with the bonus. We did have the 60% off market price, and we'll stick that pride of place right in the middle, I think, right like that. Yep. And we'll stick ours, which we did also buy. Obviously, we didn't buy this model, but we will buy this model. We'll stick that back to that like so. It's got a fairly small footprint. Fantastic, and we do need to level this a bit. I've still not quite got that right. Yeah, it's not as bad as it used to be, but it's still not quite right. Painting's not too terrible now. It's difficult, as you can see by 82 Studios. It's not that easy to get the painting right, even for a grandmaster like 82 Studios. That's not quite perfect, and neither's mine. Right. So then, what other specials did we have now? Then we did also have the luxury desserts, and didn't we put this Whiskey Factory? Of course, this was the very first Let's Play that I stuck the Whiskey Factory down, so we want to be doing that as well. So we want Luxury Desserts Mark 1, and we did sort of have it roughly in this place. Like, okay, the greenhouses we know are in a slightly different place, but yeah, I mean, you've got to have something. So let's stick that right on the edge of our land, but we do want these chevrons on the ground. Oh, we do also need to get to the side of that, so. Fantastic. Whiskey Factory. We were going to do the straw factory. I think that's the very last thing I mentioned as actually doing was that. So did we go for the bionic whiskey factory? I can't remember. I don't know if I'd actually done the bionics at that time. It was brand new, so I'm going to go with the fact that I didn't do bionic whiskey factories and that we did a standard whiskey factory. Or I might not even have actually done them yet. I still might not. This is a really relative. There's only on 2 Let's Plays this is. Right, fantastic. So that is that. So we've got our placeables. I think that's everything. We did have... no, obviously we have... Did we buy that field yet? I've got the autosave on, and we have got standard settings on, haven't we? So we haven't bought field 10 yet. We did give ourselves the cash to buy it because we really did actually buy that legitimately. Right, so we've got, wow, that's one way to blow an awful lot of cash. But I mean, we did legitimately, as we all know, do that. So let's sort that out. And there's any trouble with this particular thing is it really, the building is an afterthought. The building is just a bit of a white elephant. So we really do need, you can actually see that it is trying to do I think if you do the levelling, it actually fixes it, but then it might, mind you, it should only level on top of levelling. Yeah, so it should really just get rid of the top surface and just leave the nice things inside. Of course, we are going to do a bit of damage because you can't really help it on these situations where you're trying to do a massive change like this, but let's just try and get this something like that. Doesn't look too terrible, not really. Fantastic. I think that'll do. I know it's like, but it has actually done a bit of concrete and all that type of stuff too. Now then, the other thing is you can't control the month that you're actually in. Yeah, so we started again in August. I can't remember what month we'd actually got to. We also did that bit of work here, didn't we, where we went straight across because it was the best way. It still remains the best way to do this, really. So I think we'll do it almost opposite the road, or maybe slightly offset a little bit this time. So we need to go from within the field edge. It's the only way it'll let you do it. And then build across, because technically it recognises that it was your land. And then we need to do a little bit of softening to get that right. Fantastic. Is that actually still below the water level? The water level's gone higher, hasn't it? I've sort of done the levelling in the wrong place. Let's try that again so that the level is higher. So we want to go, let's lift it a little there. And then we'll level from the lifted bit. No, it's not liking that really. That's, the roads. But we can actually soften it. That one thing they have also improved is the roads, the way that you can... This used to be terrible in FS22. The mucking around anywhere near roads was just a very bad idea. FS25, it's not as bad. So I'd say there are some things that I do definitely recognise are definitely bad, but the water level is definitely higher than it used to be. That never used to look down on the water. Now the water's like literally to the very, very top. I mean, really high, almost to just below the road. So whatever the update's done, it has actually changed this, because this was never like this. Now then. Trying to think what are we going to do? Should we put this back to barley? Let's do that. I mean, it's not going to be... we don't want it to be ready though. Yeah, so we can actually put it's just been planted. So restart, spawn, field options is what we want. So we want fruit. Barley, and we want green small, weeds, invisible dense, invisible big dead. Can we just do dead? Small dense dead. Stones invisible, ground type sown, ground angle spray type. So let's be generous to ourselves. Spray level 2, lime level 3, plough level 1, roller level. Let's be good. I don't know that it matters for this, but let's apply that. Fantastic. So we now have a field full of barley. Again, there's not much I can do sort of thing about the month of August. I've never figured that out. I don't know if it is possible to do, but I'm sort of got better over the years of actually figuring out quite a lot of what we actually can do. Let's just put a little bit of a road straight across. Ish. Yeah, well, you can't really help it. It's not very nice. It doesn't do a very good job now of... Yeah, it's not. It's hard to actually get it right. You do. I did keep saying about refraction, and it's true. You definitely get this refractive element when you're actually playing with this, where your angles are completely wrong, and you don't really know how it actually works. Yeah, I mean that to me should have well easily got that bit in the middle done, but it's not working right. Right, stick a bit of grass down as well, make it a bit more. I suppose you could say I've also given myself a bit of an advantage with having the doing the crop again, but again you can't really control the month that you come in like this, so we've sort of lost our... I mean, really, this has sort of been planted a month early because it really shouldn't be in the ground until September. So, but I suppose we could have... No, because it had carrots in. I've got to replace it. You can't not do it that way. So this is the best we can. It should catch up even with seasons on now. So let's just actually muck around with the settings. And then what I'm going to do behind the scenes is... That sign's alright. I thought the sign was in the wrong place. Behind the scenes, I'm going to come in and I'm going to stick the amount in and see if I missed anything, because it's quite possible I did. The other thing we did, of course, was we split field 10, but we've actually planted again. So I think we'll do that afterwards. But we must remember, now we can also see some huge lines across there. Why is precision farming not put its lines on? That is a bit odd. It really should have done. It is enabled, so perhaps it is precision farming that this map really doesn't like. Let's just make those less. Let's make it as big as we can as well. Yeah, we can see this huge, massive... Are they really there? No, they are. Yeah, they are massive. Don't know that we're doing a lot though. Don't seem to be doing anything. But it's taken a cache, so it must be doing something. But we can't really see that actually going away very much. But you can definitely see the lines. Yeah, there's massive lumps. The uniform, this to me still looks like an update has done something weird and ruffled the feathers of all the mods, which would explain why it has actually gone wrong. But and it could happen again, because this is what happens, and this is what Giants did all the way through FS22, was kept breaking things again with more and more updates and bigger updates, and it still didn't fix things. Right, so we should be completely limed. That's a point. We've not bought the data, have we? Yeah, let's do that. Now, I don't know if we're going to have to then redo. Now, of course, the bad thing is we really did actually have data for this. Yeah, I mean, it really is. We don't really want it to be a field, but yeah. Right, fantastic. So, I would imagine that really means the pH is going to be lousy, and the nitrogen too, because we planted this field before we'd actually done that. So let's do this again. This time we've got to... It also is interesting to see how this actually works. Field options. And we've got barley, green, small, and liquid manure. That should, if we click apply now, actually work. pH value okay, nitrogen bad. That took no notice whatsoever of that. Oh well, we've got some work to do, to be honest. Let's be honest. I don't really want to cheat in that way. It really is a matter of trying to set things back as close as possible to what we would have probably done. Now, I probably wouldn't have done a complete big field of barley, but this might actually stand us in good stead going forwards. So I'll correct the cache. I think we had very little cache, but there's still going to be a little bit of tweaking needs doing behind the scenes. So yeah, I'm going to be right back. where I'm going to try and stick the contents of our placeables inside these placeables. This is the bit that doesn't always work. So I'm going to see you shortly. This is a little bit strange. I've just been in the placeables for this particular map, and strangely enough, none of these items actually appear in my placeables list. The other very strange thing is, hang on a minute, we never put that version down. We put my old one down. I've not seen this on any other map, but it is. I'm going to first of all have to check, because I could be recording this and it could be that my Farming Simulator 25 is actually damaged. Especially with modding, you can make a mistake with something and you could devastate the files. But I've not seen this on any other map. I'm only saying you can do this because I have done it in the past by doing the cardinal sin of actually changing a file in FS25, which you should never do. You can, of course, fix it by repairing your game files, which takes 10 minutes, but what I mean is, I have done it in the past. I thought I'd got better and not done it in a long time, but you never know. What I mean is, it could be me. But it's only happening here. Now, when I look, this is actually not pulling from the FS25 folder, the mods folder. It's actually pulling from another map, which is odd. And none of these are actually in the placeable file. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop recording for a minute, because this will follow the desktop. When I record the game, it only ever follows the game. So I need to stop the camera and change what I do so I can show you the XML file for this actual game. So I'm going to be right back. Right, okay, so we should be in the game at the minute. Now, if I go out, it will, to begin with, do a picture of like my desktop being multiplied, but then we're soon going to like go from this to this. So if we go to the mods folder and we go one up to the save games, I've moved this to save game 2 because it's a new save. So you should see Louisiana in here, which we do. We should see that we have not been playing very long at all. The autosave is on at the minute, and timescale is on 5. My bad, so it shouldn't be on 5. Let's knock that down straight away. And also it proves that we are actually in this if we do this, although I have got to save the game for it to actually update that file to actually make the change. I just want to sort of show you that this is live and there's nothing, because we've just seen that that was ×5. When we go back into that file, or I've got it open, I'm not sure if it can actually lock the file. Yeah, we need to reload it because it's now going to have changed. Timescale is now 1. That was literally saying I had actually saved it. And so now we can see that the timescale is 1. So we know this is the live map that I'm actually working on. So if we go out of this and go to the placeables, this is a little bit odd and I've never seen this before. So save game 2. Is that just deleted my save game 2? It has. Okay, let's save the game again then. That probably because I was in the actual save file. That should recreate save game 2. Wow, I didn't realise that I would actually do that. So save game 1, save game 2, it's just moved it. It was there all along. Right, so if we go to placeables now, and I go, they were all down at the bottom, the ones these are all the pre-placed ones. I'm just going to do it a little bit so you can see. It's a bit boring, I know, but just so you can see that I'm not fibbing and I'm like going from top to bottom so we can actually see. Yeah, this is the brandless production point generic area, so that's not mine. These are all the generic on map ones. So as are usually at the bottom, I'm just trying to be a bit sort of so you can see I'm not cheating and I'm not like making this up to try to make, like for any other reason. So a shed with silo US, production point, it's got all of those, but it hasn't got anything in it. Yeah, so there's no storage because it actually puts amounts in. That's just telling you that that's what it can store. A farmer's kiosk small, which we know we've put down, which shows all what it can sell and all that mega boring stuff to people wanting to see. It just goes to show how complicated some of these mods are, though, when you actually look at a little mod. That's all it does. That little lot there is quite phenomenal. And here we go. Veg greenhouse top, and it's pulling from the mod directory, which that means literally from mods, the mods folder, veg greenhouse top. farm sign likewise is pulling from where it should do. Multi-fruit buying station. Multi-person. It's corrected it then. Now, this was literally saying that it was pulling from A New Hope, not actually this map. So that's corrected itself somehow in the time that we did that save the game. But the one thing you are noticing, which you should notice, is there is no other kind of... Here we go. No, it is now corrected. So is that. That is really strange. It honestly, when I went in there, you can see the storage is nothing. So it's whatever this has done. We did save the game, and we did save the game with these in, but the game doesn't know that they're in, and it's now reminded itself that they're in, and it's actually here. So I'm going to stop the game, and now I'm going to try to put the original storage in here, but I have got to muck around with these placeable IDs because these are unique. So I'm going to keep the position the same because this really is exact, but the placeable ID, I'm going to replace all of this with what we actually had before from the other placeable backup save. So I'm going to see you shortly. And now do we do this live? Yeah, let's do it live, just to sort of show actually, yeah, what is really going on. So mods, up 1, up 1, 2, backup saves, Louisiana, save game 14 was the real one. So we want placeables. It sort of gives a bit of background knowledge as well, what you need to know if you ever want to do repairing your save. It's not quite as bad as it looks when you know what you're looking for. So yeah, it's not terrible. So we really need the large chicken coop. We want to take this from here. So if we do this in a special view, just to sort of like, for those who wish, we can do side by side so we can see exactly what we had. So obviously on the left we have the things with nothing. On the right, yeah, this is what I couldn't see. Cow, water, buffalo. We never had this on this map, and this is what was making me, yeah, here we go, this is what I saw in the backup save, and this is the Louisiana backup save. We never had a cow barn medium. So why is it, and this is why I wanted to check the main solar panels ID is active, true. Now they're not normally active on anything other than ours. We didn't place this, so to me this is like at some point FS25 has got this wrong. I mean, because I always go for cow, water, buffalo. We never had 100 animals in this on this Let's Play. So it did stuff this up. Because this is the Louisiana. I can just show you. I'm not sure if it tells you in this file. No, you would have seen, you saw me go into the Louisiana sort of folder, so you do know that I am. But I can sort of prove this as well by actually going into the backup save, which is this one, backup saves. If we go to career save game, it will say Louisiana at the top. It does. So career save game, Louisiana, how long we played on it, timescale 1, enabled, interval, and how long have we been on the map. Playtime 766.241, whatever that is. Money was right down to 34,860. That is definitely true. And these are the original things that we had, like in my mod folder, you could say, that was here at this particular time. So a lot. So then we're back to the placeables. You can see that there's definitely something wrong. Now, I've seen things go wrong before, especially since this last update, including manure being broken. But some of these were not here. Did we even have the self-sufficiency on this map? I don't think we did. I can't recall having the self-sufficiency on this. But then again, I might be I might be wrong, but we definitely didn't have the cow barn medium. This is almost like it's got Frankenmuths like mixed up with this, because we never had any of these. Now, we did have the large chicken coop, so I presume this would be right. And we did have 500. Now, this is Frankenmuth. No, because I nearly always have 7 male chickens, which means I'm always going to have 93 proper layers. Yeah, we've got net 7 there. So this one here, what we need to be doing, just so you can see how you do it, is if we go up to this, we've got to be very careful. Now we've got to get the game live, haven't we? You can't have the game live while you're doing this. Right, so we want to quit the game. We've already saved. Yeah, if you've got the game live, it won't let you do any of this. So this has got to be come out of. Just so as you know that that's how it actually works. You really cannot do any saving on these files because there's a lock on the files. So now we're okay. The game's gone, and we want this large chicken coop from the backup, this amount, and we want to put these in this one. But we also need to observe a couple of things. And this, obviously, a lot of people say you cannot do this type of thing. You can, but you really have got to know this is almost modding territory. But it's not quite as difficult to do as you actually think. So the unique ID for this one is that. The unique ID for this one was this. So we want this. I'm not sure if the game will like this, or whether we keep that the same, but then it's got a record of that. It might not have a record of this. Again, I still haven't, I've got very advanced at doing this, but I still don't, it doesn't always work. So I know that I'm still missing a couple of elements to this. Keeping the position, we don't want that position, that's wrong. But we do want everything else. Yeah, now you can see placeable. So we need now husbandry global production factor. We want this here from that point onwards right to the placeable to be grabbed. And we need to put that in between the placeable there to replace everything like that. So that is now in essence that. Sorry if this is a bit, but it isn't terribly complicated. The one thing you have got to know, and this is true of any kind of XML editing within the games, that's the start. There's not. If you click on this and you're in, it shows you where it starts and ends, each and every one. Just trying to look. Have we got anything? Yeah, it's really strange because we never had that, and that has pulled that from another game. It has. It's got to be Frankenmuth. Because we did have 100 animals. We didn't have a big enclosure. I know this. Of course, I've got other ones where I had the big enclosure, which would be Oakbridge Farm. That had like double that, like 277 or something like that. So I know because we only had 100 on Frankenmuth. That pulled from Frankenmuth. No idea why. But obviously, since the update, all manner of things went wrong. It's no wonder Louisiana did break, though, when you consider it's pulling things from places it really shouldn't be pulling things from. Right, so anyway, let's get on with the work, doing this and fixing this. So we don't want that because we never had this. We never had the self-sufficiency. Again, that's from Frankenmuth and Shed with Silo US. Green beans. Now this is looking quite right. Although beetroots, we never had any beetroots, but carrots, spinach we did. Yeah, this is Frankenmuth. So it's somehow confused the map. We never had this. Now we have got a shed with silo, but we haven't got that lot there. Yeah, this is definitely even the corner production silo. So really, this is a completely wrong thing for us, and it's not an accurate record. Here we didn't have a tiny feed silo either. All the this is like it's totally mixed it up. Yeah, and we didn't have a small cannery. This is Frankenmuth's placeables file, and yet we can see that actually it is in the career save game for Louisiana if we hover over that. And so was that in Louisiana's save games. So the game has somehow totally stuffed this up. And my backup save is not right either. Yeah, in fact it says Frankenmuth. Now you could think, oh well, I've done this wrong. Well, if I did, then this is rather a complicated way of getting this right, because I would have had to mix this up myself with the Louisiana. Now we know Louisiana went wrong. Now we're just investigating why Louisiana went wrong, and now we are seeing weird sort of things. We could also go one step further. If you think I've like literally sort of cheated on this or anything like that, what we could do, being as we've not been on Louisiana, as in so much as all that we've done right now is this. If we go to Louisiana, the old Louisiana, which was 13 and 14, now I've deleted 13, so 14 does still exist, and this is the real Louisiana. Just to prove this as well, is Louisiana. And if we go to the placeable within that folder, 14, make sure we're in the right place. I'm not, yeah, because it gets confusing even for me, to be honest, when you're like doing from one to another. If we go in the placeables, the save game 14, let's see what we actually find right down at the bottom. because we know that's where we've just seen it. So chickens, cow, water buffalo. Yeah. So this is live in that particular one. And we're seeing everything from Frankenmuth, and it actually tells you further up that it was Frankenmuth that this pulled from. We just saw that. Tiny feed silo. It was higher up, but you could see that it had pulled it. Now the one thing, common thing is, since I did the, I mean, you could argue, on Frankenmuth we had one unique thing, and that was the thing that pushes things around. Now what happens if that's pushing things around to the wrong place, as in like it's not quite fixed right and it's causing mayhem? Because it's strange that it's Frankenmuth, and that's what I'm trying to think. What was unique about Frankenmuth? It's all one of those diagnostic things that you've got to try and think, what is different about this? Right, okay, so that really is beehives, more honey, pallet spawner options. Yes. So that's that one that I was talking about. Did it actually say Frankenmuth, though, on the one that we actually looked at in our... I just think I've probably not actually seen it. I know this is Frankenmuth, but he did actually say on the other one, on this place, was it actually mentioned Frankenmuth? Here we go, yeah. Placeable mod name, FS25 Frankenmuth map. Mod directory, Frankenmuth map. Selling. So it's pulling stuff from that place, which you really shouldn't be doing. I can't see if this is a Giant's mistake or whether it is... the mod is doing strange things, but all I know is that Louisiana went wrong straight after this. Now I know why, because it's pulling from places it really should never pull from. So I don't know how we can actually get out of this one. Let's have a look at the backup save game and see if we can save this. Just wanted to show that I have done everything in my power. So we're looking for save game 14 backup. It's horrible to actually look at. We really want... being as it does it every 15 minutes, this would be on the 25th of the 6th at 8:10. Let's have a look. We should really have everything within this, if it's not done anything weird to the place it was in this one. Let's go to the bottom of this, right to the bottom where we saw it, and see, has it done the carbon? Yeah, it has. Yeah. Wow. Yes, this is Frankenmuth. I just know all of the things that we had on that green bean almondine. I mean, that's the other thing that we have got in common, which is that. But I mean, I know, having done modding now for quite a while, that all of my folders point to the right place, and this has been tested by Giant's mod testing. If it was that bad that it would do that type of thing, then in all truthfulness, if that was the cause, you'd also see it on other maps, although we haven't got that on many maps. But let's just have a look. Yeah, this one's not saying Frankenmuth, is it? No, this one's... yeah, it is. No, it is. So somehow, something on Frankenmuth broke the Louisiana save, and I haven't got any way of actually grabbing the data back from Louisiana. So I've got two options, and that is... we either like say, oh, Louisiana's gone, and we just play on Oak City by JM Gaming, or I am enjoying this. It's a beautiful map. I'm also showing mods and things that are unique. I personally don't wish to give this in, so no, because there's nothing we want in that. We need to... so with the actual one that we've got, which is in not the save game backup, but in the original, is this one here, which really is just got what we had. So the nasty thing is the amount of time we played on the map, we cannot do anything about that. So we've got this, these are the brand new ones that we put in. This doesn't seem to be pulling through. If we search for Frankenmuth, that'll do. Yeah, it can't find it. So there's no errors in this, nothing pulling from Frankenmuth from this. I'm going to be very careful. The one thing we did see that was another strange thing was we actually saw when I pulled this up that it had got that mod in that I was talking about, the one that moves things. Let's go back to the game while this is actually doing this, so we can chat. The one thing we did notice is the mod that moves things around, which again I only had on Frankenmuth. So the commonality seems to be Frankenmuth, really, on this particular thing. I apologise for. So let's go straight to the new Louisiana, where we have literally just got what we just saw on it. Now we've bought the field, that's the most important thing. We've put barley down again, we've got the whiskey factory, and we've got the means of making our thing. It's almost like starting all over again, but we're not starting all over again. In other words, we've got the big field, we've got another field of barley, so okay, we've got to harvest it. What I will do now though, is I will bring in my vehicles, so that they are, because obviously we also bought all the vehicles that we had, so I'll bring all the vehicles in next session. But just saying, business is going to crack on. I think we'll leave the money as it is, as a bit of a bonus, because I've got to be honest, we did have on hand an absolute shed load. If we were to like incorporate what I did and the cash that we'd got on hand, and also how much we'd got of this and all the rest of it, the manure, the water, the effort's gone into this, it's definitely worth more than 191,000. So we'll just keep this in for now as our slush money, because otherwise we're dead in the water. We literally shouldn't be this poor. We should have a load of stuff that we could have run straight to the sell point and actually sold to make us a fortune. So yeah, I mean, we've sort of got, yeah, I mean, the other thing is obviously the chickens. Again, we need to buy the chickens all over again, and they're going to be, well, no, we will buy all 500 chickens so that they're all layers and proper, straight from the scratch, from start. Yeah, so we've got to buy all of the manure, the water, the food for the chickens, all from this 191,747. So I'm going to class this as our startup money, because the game has totally cheated us, really. There's no other way to sort of put it. We're also owed the very huge production silo at the point that we are going to do that. So once we've done the harvesting with our harvester, we'll put that back down, and obviously get the straw mod and all the rest of it, we will get that done as well. So yeah, just this is just by means of an explanation of like us poking around, looking to see what happens, replacing and getting this almost like it was before. I might check the last episode as well. I thought we'd put the straw factory down, and I thought we'd mention about putting the guava bean greenhouse down as well, but I can't. I'm going to refer to that, and if that is the case, then I will obviously also bring that back in and like put those down too. So yeah, I vaguely remember it, so I need to look at that last episode again to make sure how far we got. I know, as I said, there's a couple more buildings that we will allow us to buy because we'd already bought them, so I need to again to refer to the original, because we can't refer to the placeable XML because we just have done and it's all wrong. Yeah, it's pulled through from Frankenmuth for some reason. Now the mod I was talking about, which now I've got a bit of a question mark by, is the Logi transfer. This was showing on this map. Now I never put this there, but it was on Frankenmuth. So is this to blame, or is it a Giants update? But I've got a question mark by this now. So what I'm going to do is, for now, I'm going to disable the Logi transfer. I'm going to remove it from the mods just for now, because it appeared in both maps. It also appeared on here, and all we'd done was loaded the map. So that's strange that this appeared actually as our one placeable straight away. That is odd. So there could be something wrong with that particular mod. It is a fairly new mod. So I'm going to switch that off, remove it in case it's doing any damage, and then all we've got is our two fields to start. We'll buy the chickens next time, get cracking, and get all the manure, and I'll get my vehicles in, and we'll have a proper session. But yeah, obviously this is us. We've spent probably an hour of time just trying to fix this and get back to like where we were and all the rest of it. So yeah, I hope you'll join me back on Louisiana next session, where it's going to be business as usual. But obviously we're starting all over again, but we're not really, you know what I mean. We've got the field that we worked hard for, we've got most of our placeables. We will allow the buying of the placeables that we've already bought and paid for, and anything that I've forgotten, Obviously, vehicles are all going to come in, so although we've got none for now, we will, and they'll all be exactly where they were before, which means they may not be quite in the right place, because the chances of me putting this in exactly the same place is like, yeah, it's not going to happen. It's going to be wrong, definitely. So, yeah, I might have like vehicles stuck in the middle of the wall and stuff like that, which we need to fix next session. So, yeah, hopefully you'll join me next session. Thank you very much for watching.